Oh, hello there. I'm Bilchan.
I'm Nimikung.
I'm Banchan.
In this class, I'll read to all of you Chapter 12, Section 6 of the Adventures of Sherlock Holmes.
As.
Ah.
The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes. Author Conan Doyle. Chapter 12, Section 6. Thought of you. Viste. Poems. Some advice. I was frightened of the house. Of the man. The woman. Of the servants. Even of the child. Horrible to me. If I could only bring you down, all would be well. Of course, I might have fled from the house. Almost as strong as my fears. My mind was soon made up. Would send you a wire. I put on my hat and cloak. Down to the office, which is about half a mile from the house. And then returned, feeling very much easier. Mind as I approached the door lest the dog might be loose. Remembered that Tuller had drunk himself into a state of insensibility that evening with the savage creature, or who would venture to set him free. Thought of seeing you. Winchester this morning. But I must be back before 3 o'clock. For Mr. and Maestro Casar are going on a visit. All the evening, so that I must look after the child. Puff. Told you all my adventures, Mr. Holmes, very glad if you could tell me what it all means and all. Holmes and I had listened spellbound to this extraordinary story, where he's now in paste. Up and down the room, his hands in his pockets, and in expression of the most profound gravity upon his face. Drunk? He asked. Yes. I heard his wife tell my stat as well. Yes. A very brave and sensible girl, Miss Hunter. Could perform more feat. I will try. Copper Beeches by 7 o'clock, my friend and I gone by that time until I will. We hope being capable. There only remains my Tuller, who might give the alarm. Could send her into the cellar on some errand upon her. Excellent. We shall then look thoroughly into the affair. Of course, there is only one feasible explanation. Someone and the real person is imprisoned in this chamber. That is a beast. To this prisoner is the daughter, Miss Alice Ricastle. If I remember right, to have gone to America, you were chosen. Doubtless in height, figure, and the colour of your hair. Cut off, very possibly in someone as through which she has passed, so of course yours had to be sacrificed. Also, chance you came upon her tresses. Friend of hers, possibly her fine can know. Doubt were so like her, he was convinced from your laughter. You, and afterwards from your gesture, that Miss Ricastle was perfectly happy and that she no longer desired his attentions. Night to prevent him from endeavouring to communicate with her. Claire, what on earth has that to do with it? I ejaculated. What sin of a child by the study of the parents? Converse is equally valid. Character of parent by studying their children. This child's disposition is abnormally cruel, merely for cruelty's sake. And whether he derives it from his smiling father, as I should suspect, or from his mother, all right, Mr. Holmes cried. Our client. To me, which make me certain that you have hit it. Oh, must be circumspect, for we are dealing with the very cunning man. Ting do nothing until 7 o'clock. At that hour we shall be with you. We were as good as our word. We reached the copper Beeches, having put up our trap beside public house. The group of trees, the light of the setting sun, Miss Hunter not. Then standing smiling on the doorstep. Have you managed it? Asked Holmes. Aloud. Thudding noise came from somewhere downstairs. That is mice the cellar, said. Dear. Her husband lay snoring on the kitchen rug. Are his keys? Which are the duplicates of Mr. Indeed? Cried Holmes with enthusiasm. Now lead the way, stare, unlocked the door, followed on down a passage in front of the barricade which Miss Hunter had described, and removed the transverse bar. Then he tried the various keys in the lock, but without success. No sound came from within Holmes. Face clouded over. I trust that we are not too late, said he. I think, Miss Hunter, that we had better go in with that. Ew. Now, Watson, put your shoulder to it door, and gave it once before our united strength. It was empty. There was no furniture save a little pallet bed, a small table, and a basket full of linen, open and the prisoner gone. There has been some villainy here, said Holmes through the skylight. Oh. Onto the roof. Ah, yes, he cried, a long light. Ladder against the eaves. But it is impossible, said Miss Hunter. A. has come back and done it. A clever and dangerous man. Were he, who stepped by now up on the stair. I think, Watson. Door of the room, a very fat and burly man stood in. His hand side of him, but Sherlock Holmes sprang forward and confronted. In. He, the fat man, cast his eyes round, open skylight. It is for me to ask you that, he shrieked, you thieves. Spies, thieves. I have caught you, have I? My par. Hard as he could go. He's gone for the dog, cried Miss Hunter. My revolver, said I. Better close the front door, cried Holmes. Rushed down the stairs together. The baying of a hound, and then a scream of agony, horrible worrying sound which it was dreadful to listen to. A red face and shaking limbs came staggering out at a side door. A. Card. Someone has loosed the dog. Dace. Good. Quick of the house with Joe hurrying behind us. Brute. Its black muzzle buried in Ruckel's throat upon the ground. Running. By blow its brains out, Nick. With much labour. We separated them and carried him mangled into the house. We laid him upon the drawing-room sofa, having dispatched the subtler to bear the news to his wife what I like to relieve his pain. The door opened and a tall, gaunt woman entered the room. My stiller, cried Miss Hunter. Yes, miss. West too. He came back before he went up to you. And West. Is it pity you didn't let me know what you were planning, Holmes? Looking keenly at her. It is clear that mice. Yes, sir, I do then, pray. Sit down, make it clear to you, said she, if I ta. Got out from the cellar. This you'll remember that I was the one that stood your friend, that I was Miss Ellis's friend too. Hugh. Was never happy at home, Ellis was it, from the time that her father married again. Like and had no say in anything her until left her. She met Mr. Feller at a friend's house, as I could learn. Miss Liz had rights of her own by will, but she was so quiet and patient, she was, a word about them but just. Left everything in Mr. Ruckel's hands. Knew he was safe with her. Husband coming forward, who would ask for all that the law would give him. Then her father thought it time to put a stop on it. Wanted her to sign a paper so that whether she married or not, he could use her money. When she wouldn't do it, worrying her until she got brain fever and for 6 weeks was at death's. Though Then she got better at last, all wore into a shadow. With her beautiful hair cut off young man, said Holmes. Enough to tell us makes the matter fairly clear, all that remains. Mr. Rook, then I presume yes of. Mr. That was it, but Mr. Feller being a persevering man, as a good seaman should be, blockaded the house. He succeeded by certain arguments, metallic or otherwise, Mr. Very kind-spoken, free-handed gentleman, said my Stola serenely. Manage that, you're good. Men should have no want of drink, you have it. Fair. I am sure we owe you an apology, my said Holmes. For you have certainly cleared up everything which puzzled us. Here comes the country surgeon and my Drukastil, so I think. Watson, that we had best escort Miss Hunter back to Winchester door. Mr. Rucastle survived, but was always a broken man. Alive solely through the care of his devoted wife. Old servants it difficult to part from them. Mr. Fowler and Miss Rucastle were married by special license in Southampton the day after their flight is now the hold of a government appointment in the island of Mauritius. To Miss Violet Hunter, my friend Holmes, rather to my disappointment one of his problems. To be continued.